You ever get that wild hunch that a tiny meme coin could 10x your money? Well, I stumbled, or just stumbled, I should say, on one of those rumors about Floki Inu, and it sent me down a rabbit hole that I never expected. Now, I'm talking about a potential 1000% rally. And as a guy who's been holding Floki since 2023, my jaw is officially on the floor. Now, here's the thing. I bought into Floki back in 2023 on a whim. Thank you, Elon's dog tweets. Fast forward, of course, and I watched the little token skyrocket 2,190% in 269 days last cycle. Now, it was like riding a rocket strapped to a roller coaster. It was exhilarating highs, stomach-churning drops, the whole package. Now, I'm hearing whispers that Floki could rally another 10x in the new bull run, 10 times over. So, if you're kind of wondering whether I've lost my mind or actually onto something here, you're not alone. The question, can Floki really do it again, has been eating at me. So I did what any curious holder would do. I dove headfirst into the charts, the news, the crypto community gossip, everything. And guess what? The story that I uncovered is way bigger than just one guy's prediction. In the next few minutes, I'm going to take you through my personal adventure, untangling the truth behind this Floki 1000% rally rumor. Oh, and here's a quick shout out too. If you love geeking out over these kind of things on crypto just like I do, well, come and hang out with us in our free educational Discord. There's a link in the description. We've got a whole crew of us, Floki Vikings in there, swapping insights and, of course, memes. So trust me, stick around. By the end of this video, you're going to see Floki Inu in a whole new light. Let's rewind to at least set the stage. Late 2023, I throw a few bucks into Floki Inu. It was literally spare change of my kind of, crypto portfolio. Kind of like money that I'd spend on a fancy coffee. I didn't expect much, maybe a fun ride if I'm lucky, but then 2024 hits and Floki goes absolutely bananas. Now, I'm watching this thing take off like a spaceship. Every morning I'm checking my phone and my holdings were worth more and more. By June 2024, Floki had exploded over 2,000% from where it was the previous fall. Insane, right? I kind of felt like a genius, until reality hit, right? After that peak in June, the whole market hit the brakes. Floki tumbled down from its highs. Not gonna lie, that really tested my diamond hands. But here's the crazy part. Even at its lows, Floki never kind of went back to square one, right? The low it actually hit in April of 2025 was higher than the low in September of 2023. Now, in traders lingo, that's a higher low, and that's a pretty big deal. So it's kind of like saying, yeah, we fell, but not as far as last time. Someone's still buying, someone still believes. And I remember noticing that on the chart and thinking, that is interesting. It's like bouncing a basketball and it doesn't drop as low on each bounce. You start kind of suspecting that it might actually be gaining some upward momentum. According to one analyst, a dude who goes by the name of Master Anada, the higher low pattern is a classic sign that the groundwork for a new uptrend is being laid. He basically pointed out that Floki's price structure is strengthening, not weakening. So in plain English, the worst might be over. The bears had their fun and they could push, or at least they couldn't push Floki down to where it actually started. Now for holders like me, that's actually comforting thought. It's like surviving a storm and finding your house is still standing strong. And guess what usually comes after a higher low? At least in Chartland, it's a higher high. And that's exactly the next peak could break past the past or last peak. Now, if that holds true, then we might not just revisit the old glory days of June 2024, we might actually surpass it. Cue the heart palpitations for us investors. Now, at this point, I'm intrigued, but also cautious. So I dug deeper, right? And I find the Floki's price has been sneaking upwards in a pattern of higher highs and higher lows over the past few months. Not in a straight line, nothing in crypto is ever a straight line, but a general uptrend is kind of peeking through all of the chop. Now, it's been consolidating, basically moving sideways with a slight upward tilt, as if kind of coiling up its energy. Now, traders call this accumulation phase. It's kind of where smart money quietly loads up before the real fun begins. Master Anada, the analyst, even said, despite recent increases, we're probably still in that accumulation zone. And the true bull run, often kind of visualized by a big kind of 5-wave move upwards, hasn't even kicked off just yet. Now, that's both exciting and terrifying. It's exciting because the big pump might be ahead, and it's terrifying because, well, it might not materialize and we'll all be staring at a coiled spring that doesn't actually spring. But let's talk concrete numbers, because this guy didn't just speak in riddles, he actually gave some targets. And they're bonkers, right? In a good way. Now, based on the analysis, Floki Inu could potentially rip around 571% from where it is right now, and even 1,049% in a bullish scenario, right? I did the math. If Floki is around, let's say, 0.00010 today, and we're talking about, 0.00057 to 0.0010 if those targets hit, and that's a lot of zeros, I know. In other words, it's turning $100 in least investment into $600 or $1,100. That alone made me kind of sit up straight. But he didn't stop there. He said that if you measure from April 2025's lows, essentially if you caught the bottom, the gains could stretch to about 1,408% to even 2,484% now. We're in the $100 becomes $1,500 to $2,500 territory. You can insert my eyeballs popping out. It sounded ridiculous. I know. These kind of gains are what you hear in the bull market kind of fairy tales. So naturally, I'm skeptical. Like, come on, nearly 25x from the bottom. But then I find out he's not the only one thinking big, right? Another respected analyst, Master 𝗗𝗶𝘀𝗰𝗍, fitting name I know, apparently went on record with a prediction that Floki could 10x by this very month. Pretty bold. And on Twitter, or X, or whatever we're going to be calling it now, there's a chart kind of floating around from crypto elites that hints at a 14x potential increase for Floki based on some fancy pattern. When multiple people, especially people who usually know their stuff, start shouting 10x or 14x, you start paying attention. You can't help but pay attention. So my inner cynic is kind of waving a flag saying, hey, be careful. This is how hopium feels. But the crypto degen in me is already kind of mentally calculating the profits. This is a tug of war, people. Tug of war. Now, I know all of this sounds like I'm telling you Floki Inu is a guaranteed lottery ticket. It's absolutely not. In fact, this is probably a good moment for a bit of a reality check. Now, this might just shock you, but I'm not a financial advisor, and nothing in this video is financial advice. Cryptocurrencies are highly volatile, and you could lose all of the money that you invest. You should always do your own research and consult a qualified professional. After all, your investments are entirely your own responsibility, and you should know that nothing is ever guaranteed when it comes to investing. Neither I, this channel, nor YouTube are liable for any losses, and this video is for entertainment and educational purposes only. Phew, okay. I'm glad that we had to get that out of the way. We had to say it, because even if I'm over here kind of dreaming about 10x gains, you need to be grounded. Never invest just because some YouTuber or some analyst said something moon-worthy, right? Do your own homework, use your own head, and only risk what you can afford to lose. All right. Sermon is over. Let's get back to the good stuff. So, aside from the charts and technical signals, I ask myself, what actually is driving Floki these days? Is there real substance, or is this all just hype? This is where things get even more interesting, and this part really sold me on holding my Floki tight. Regulatory news. Now I know, regulation sounds boring, but stick with me here. It's actually pretty huge for Floki. Now in mid-July 2025, Floki Inu did something that no meme coin, heck, almost no crypto project had done. It became the first crypto token to have an official MiCA-compliant white paper in Europe. The translation here: Floki went legit. MiCA is this new big kind of set of crypto regulations in the EU, and Floki basically got the gold star from European regulators. They gave it admission to trading status across the EU, meaning it's approved, right, to be traded legally in all EU countries under the new rules. Now, for a project that literally started as a kind of Shiba Inu meme, named after Elon Musk's dog, well, that's like the ultimate kind of glow up, right? Imagine the class clown suddenly graduating law school and everyone's kind of shocked, but you've got to respect it. Now, why does this matter? Credibility. Regulatory compliance is a game changer. It tells big players, hey, this coin isn't some outlaw token lurking in the shadows. It's playing by the rules. Now, institutions, exchanges, and investors with deep pockets are way more likely to consider a crypto that has a legal green light. Now, I wouldn't be surprised if Floki lands on more major exchanges or even gets attention from European investment funds now. Now, in fact, right after that MiCA news broke, Floki's price saw a nice jump, which kind of shows that the market cares about this stuff. Now, as someone who uses a few different exchanges to trade, this also put me at ease anyway. Now, I often trade on Bluefin, crypto exchange, which is one of the places that I keep my Floki stash. If you're curious, I have an affiliate link that's in the description. Using it, of course, helps support the channel here at no extra cost to yourself. Anyway, knowing that Floki has this regulatory thumbs up, it makes me a lot more confident that exchanges like Bluefin or even bigger ones won't suddenly face pressure to delist it or anything crazy. It's kind of a bit of peace of mind in the wild west of crypto. Now, regulation is one side of the coin. The other side is the community and the utility, and oh boy, Floki's community has some surprises up its sleeves. Now, you might know Floki for its kind of meme pedigree, or its kind of catchy Viking-themed marketing. Yes, the community really calls themselves Floki Vikings, horns and all. But behind the scenes, they're building an ecosystem that's more than just memes. Now, one thing that really kind of impressed me was Floki launched an educational platform called University of Floki. This is essentially a crypto education hub, and the team actively invited the kind of community to suggest course ideas for it. Now, I love this because it's so un-meme coin-like in the best possible way. I mean, picture it, right? A meme coin community contributing to crypto courses, basically teaching newcomers about blockchain tech, DeFi, and so on. It's both hilarious, the idea of a dog coin running a university, and brilliant at the same time. Education, of course, is the bridge that could take crypto from niche internet jokes to mainstream adoption. By getting its community involved in creating valuable content, Floki is doing something that Doge or Shiba Inu just never really did. They're fostering loyalty and adding real value to the token's ecosystem. So when people kind of spend time learning through University of Floki, they're probably actually going to feel a lot more connected to Floki's project itself, and a strong, educated community is a huge asset. They're not just going to flip the coin because of a tweet. They understand that the project, and might even stick around for the longer term. Plus, this kind of thing can attract new users. Someone might come for a free crypto course and actually end up buying a bag of Floki because now they're actually intrigued by the community behind it. But let's not forget the other parts of Floki's ecosystem too. They've been working on a metaverse game, Valhalla, DeFi products like FlokiFi Locker, and other partnerships. This isn't a Floki infomercial, by the way, so I won't go on a tangent here, but it is, you're going to get the gist, right? Floki's not just sitting idle, right? Waiting for the next bull run to kind of pump its price. They're actually actively building and engaging their community to build a sort of Floki universe. Regulatory compliance plus community empowerment, it equals a powerful combo. So in my mind, that's kind of like loading up extra fuel for the next rocket launch. So if the market turns bullish overall and Bitcoin starts lifting off, which often drags memes up with it, well, Floki will have more than just kind of blind hype to offer. It'll have a narrative, right? Whether the regulated meme coin can actually do stuff, right? Well, that's a narrative that I can actually get behind. And so by this point, in my research, I'm practically buzzing with excitement, not just because number go up, right? Though, yeah, the thought of a 10x will do that to you, but because, I'm seeing a story unfold here. It's the story of an underdog or underdoge, if you get my drift, right? Maturing, of course, without losing its mischievous charm. Now, I started this journey kind of skeptical, like surely the 1000x forecast was just clickbait. But now, I won't lie, I'm drinking some of this Kool-Aid here, right? The chart looks promising. The fundamentals are surprisingly solid for a meme coin. And that's weird me saying that. And of course, the community is fired up and growing. So I had this moment sitting at my desk at 2 a.m. with like 40 different tabs open where it kind of hit me. Floki Inu might actually be gearing up for another explosive run. And I'm right in the middle of it. Now, it gave me chills, right? I remember literally saying out loud, there's just no way this might actually happen. It's kind of like the moment in the movie where the hero, beaten down, starts getting back up while the epic music starts swelling in the background. That's genuinely how it felt seeing all of these pieces lining up. Now, of course, the rational part of me immediately responded with, calm down, don't mortgage your house for Floki or anything crazy. And yes, that part is absolutely right. Nothing is guaranteed. Maybe Floki fizzles out. Maybe the whole crypto market swirls and swivels. Who knows, right? But I haven't felt this kind of cautious optimism for Floki since the very early days of 2021, when meme coins were first exploding into mainstream. So, where have we landed after all of this? Here is my take. Floki Inu could very well be on the brink of something big, right? The signs are there, technically, fundamentally, community-wise. It will definitely, or will it definitely have 1000% rally? Well, I can't promise that, right? And I won't promise that. Remember our little disclaimer earlier. But for the first time in a long time, I am seeing a plausible path for Floki to go absolutely wild again. And as someone who's been kind of strapping in on this roller coaster since 2023, that makes me both excited and a little bit nervous. The good kind of nervous, of course. Now, I've basically told myself, all right, I'm riding this out. I'm holding onto my Floki bag tight. If we dip, I might even scoop up a little bit more. Just a little, because I'm not about to low my life's savings right into this. But, I've made that mistake many times before, and it's not a fun time. But I do believe that in this project more now than I ever have done before. And it's not just blind faith either, or Elon-fueled hype. I'm seeing the terms and the team's kind of moves here, I should say, and the community's passion and thinking behind it. And yeah, this has some legs. So if Floki does pull off another 10x, or dare I say more, then you can bet that I'm going to be screaming like a fool in celebration. I mean, who wouldn't, right? There's a part of me that's already kind of daydreaming about what I would do if that happens. Probably something boring like pay off loans, and something fun like finally go on that Iceland kind of trip, that I've been kind of postponing. And anyway, if that does happen, if Floki just stays flat or even kind of fades away, well, it'll sting a little bit, sure, but I won't regret taking the chance, because being on this journey has taught me a ton. I learned about reading charts. I've learned about the importance of fundamentals, even in a meme land that is crypto currently, and I connected with a community of like-minded crazies who make this space really fun. Now, that free Discord that I mentioned earlier, well, the discussions in there around Floki and other projects are pure gold. This is why I love crypto. The thrills of possibility mixed with real learning and community building. At the end of the day, and this is the only time that I'll use that phrase, I promise, Floki's story is still being written. Maybe it becomes the legend that turned jokesters into millionaires twice over. Or maybe it will become a cautionary tale of hype. But as of now, I'm betting on the former, with eyes wide open to the latter. And I'm taking you all along for the ride with me. So if you've enjoyed coming along on this little Floki adventure, do me a favor, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and join me, or at least join the squad for our next crypto ride. Trust me, you won't want to miss what's coming next. I'll see you in the next one.